bullshit. What you want me to prove?
Spacey got the sauce on. Spacey got the sauce on. Spacey got the sauce on. Spacey got the sauce on.
Sauce bullshit. What you want me to prove?
Spacey got the sauce on. Spacey got the sauce on. Spacey got the sauce on.
Thank you everybody for being here on this lovely Sunday night. We're gonna have a laid-back discussion tonight, right? It's gonna be fun. Please hit that like button. Hit the like button. for the algorithm. I really appreciate everybody. Shout out to the No Cap crew.
Times in our life,
You got time to sing on it. You sing.
we all have pain.
So then you gonna sing it.
We all have sorrow. Then I look at Wayne and I know that he will be ugly tomorrow. Lean on me when you're my cousin and I'll be your friend. I help you carry on, for it won't be long that I'm gonna need my cousin to care.
No Cap-tivity. Freezy.
What up? You are officially locked in to No Cap-tivity with Freezy, where we tackle issues that sometimes have us trapped in this thing that we call life. But if you know me, you know my motto. To free yourself, you must heal yourself. And if you rock with your boy, please hit the like and subscribe button hard right now. And also comment and share this video. That is if you rock with your boy, Freezy.
No Cap-tivity.
Tonight, we just gonna hang out, y'all. I'ma just be honest with y'all. Like, sometimes I just get tired of talking about celebrities. You know what I'm saying? I be wanting to have real talk sometimes. Like, a lot of my day I spend looking for a story, or, you know, your celebrity story, because I know I got it, you know, on the thumbnail. You know, that's what people want to see, you know, but I'm kind of slowly, I'm going to start migrating from there. I'm just going to start having real talk, especially at late night, right? Just real talk about life and things people might be going through. You understand what I'm saying? There's more to life than just celebrities. There's more real people out here than just celebrities.
No Cap-tivity.
That's a fact. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If y'all don't, you know, for some reason, something you don't like about the show, hit the dislike button. Either or, man, just do me a favor and hit the like button or the dislike button. It don't matter. Also, to support this platform or stories of this magnitude, send a super cap, aka super chat, or a cash cap, aka cash app. You can also send the cash cap to $Freezy 1976. That's $Freezy 1976. Don't hesitate. This platform needs it. It's a growing platform. Like I told y'all already, everything goes back into the live stream time that this software charges me. So, you know, it don't get spent. It don't get spent luxuriously. Everything is handled by necessity. You feel me?
This one here for the thug.
The title of the show. What is the title of the show? The title of the show is do we even know what real success is? Do we? I'm talking to my people out there. Do we know what real success is? We've been seeing a lot of people in the news, a lot of people getting caught up, you know, in just a lot of hoopla. right? We just seen what's been going on with P. Diddy and Cassie, and what's going on with DJ Envy and his homeboy Caesar, Keke Palmer and her boyfriend Darius Jackson. The list goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Are these the real people we need to be looking up to for success? Are they? So often when we're kids, we've looked up to either pop stars or movie stars, right? Especially when rappers came about, when you seen those big ass gold chains. In the hood, our first depiction of success was the dope dealer. Well, I'm not gonna say that was the first vision of success, but that was the most well known, right? That was out in front of our face as kids, the dope dealer, right? The dope dealer was like the main character of success. It's all about money. It's all about material things. It's all about cars, clothes, right? Who got the most? Who's shining the most? That's what made P. Diddy such a great businessman, especially in the entertainment world. He knew what we wanted to see. He knew we wanted to see all the shiny stuff. And what do shiny things always start with? It starts with jewelry, right? When they call P. Diddy the shiny suit man, it's because he got the shiny concept from jewelry, dope dealers in the hood. He knew that's what we wanted to see. So guess what? He brought in the shiny concept from jewelry and he spread it out to the clothes and the cars and the lifestyle. The shiny suit man, P. Diddy, right? Well, as we were kids, that's what we all growed up wanting to see. We wanted to see everything shiny. As black folk, we felt like everything need to be shiny. If it ain't shiny, it's dull. And if it's dull, it's unsuccessful. It don't really mean much. And we ain't really gonna pay attention to it, right? It don't really hold no weight. But that's just how we are conditioned. That's how we've been conditioned for a long time, haven't we? But I think it's high time to have a discussion of what real success is. Do we even know what real success is? I got some videos I'm showing. I'm gonna comment on it. You know, if anybody wants to call in and have a discussion with me, they can, right? But like I said, we're just gonna have a real discussion tonight. Who all wants to have it, they can, right? What is real success? The most successful ads that we see, especially on YouTube or on social media, it's the ones where they're showing luxury cars, foreign cars, mansions. Most of this stuff be rented. We already know that by now, right? But that's how you sell people. But who is the biggest demographic that these people are reaching out to, or who are they trying to target? It's black people or Hispanics, people of color, because they know that's what we actually lock on to. That's what we pay attention to. We want the shiny stuff, right? There's a video that I seen of Bill Duke. I want to show it, but I don't want to get struck, or I don't want to get a copyright infringement. I get tired of having copyright infringements, but I want to show it, right? Bill Duke was talking about the price of success and what a lot of entertainers went through that we don't know about behind the scenes, right? We see them when they're pushed out in the front with their lavish wardrobes, or their just their stardom in general, right? We see that all the time. We see it. But what do they really go through? What do they really go through, though? Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna look for that video. I think I'm gonna show it. I don't know if y'all ever seen this video. Bill Duke. Y'all remember Bill Duke? Bill Duke, he starred on The Terminator. Y'all name some movies Bill Duke played in. Let me give my people some shout outs, man. Shout out to Justin Wade. He said, great topic. Shout out to Hassan, my brother. What's going on? Always here. Cassandra B, my sister. Thank you for being here. 907 Good Eats. Thank you for being here. T Will, what's going on, my brother? Lady Nevo, I seen your cash cap already. It will get red. Trust me. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Who else is here? Only Built for Valor. Thank you for being here, brother. Ben Davis Dunn. Thank you. He's already gave a great comment. Our society measures success by what material things you have accumulated and what you present on the outside. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Mr. He said, thank you, bro, for being here. Bro, I would love to get you in on this conversation. You got a lot of depth. You know what I'm saying? He said, what's poppin', Freezer? What's going on? To the whole Harris tribe. Oh, Dr. Nakambi, my brother. What's going on, Doc? How you doing, bro? How you doing, Doc? I'm kind of switching it up tonight, Doc. We're gonna see, we're gonna see how far we can take this conversation. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
No Cap-tivity.
Bill Duke. Do y'all know who Bill Duke is? Let me see. Bill Duke. I think this is what I'm looking for. You know what? I think I'll download this.
My new holiday.
I think I'll download it and then edit it while I'm up here with y'all. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna filter it while I'm up here with y'all, so cause we don't want to get copyright stricken. Of course we don't. Let me see. Let me download this video. Man, that was fast. Huh? Okay. Bill Duke. So Bill Duke, what movies Bill Duke starred in? Let me see. Bill Duke starred in, I'm just so y'all can know who Bill Duke is, right? I need to just go ahead and get his picture. Bill Duke. Let me see. This is Bill Duke. Let me show y'all a picture of Bill Duke. This is Bill Duke, y'all. I think that's the easiest thing to do. This is Bill Duke. Y'all remember Bill Duke? Do y'all remember Bill Duke? Bill Duke had, he gave a great commentary on a podcast, right? I think the podcast is called Film Courage. Shout out to Film Courage. If y'all haven't seen his interview with Film Courage, you need to go watch it. The video is called Cost of Success, right? Cost of Success. That's the video I just downloaded. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop it in my iMovie. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it in my iMovie, and then I'm going to filter it right quick. Yeah, I gotta show it to y'all. I'm sorry. I just thought about the movie. This is impromptu. This is all on the spot, y'all. I just thought about that movie. Tonight's gonna be a laid back show. I told y'all. It's all everything impromptu. Let me see. Thank you, Dr. Nakambi. I really appreciate that. Everybody needs to watch that. It's kind of old. It's probably a couple of years old. I've been watched that. I've been watched it myself. But every now and then, I watch this thing like about 20 times. The Cost of Success. Let me raise the volume on this thing. Okay, I raised the volume. I'm filtering it now, guys. There we go. Okay, and I'm done. Let me see. Bill Duke. Cost. I just put cost. I'm done. Okay. Now it's rendering. I'm about to show y'all this video. I need y'all to see it, right? In order for me to show it here, I had to filter it right quick. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm a jack of all trades. Doing this YouTube stuff, you gotta be a jack of all trades. You just can't be one-dimensional if you're gonna be successful. You feel me?
No captivity.
Keyword tonight, success. What is real success? Right? Listen, what I've gathered is there are people that actually know what real success is, but there are far and few and in between. Are the Rothschilds successful? Are the 10 richest families in the world successful? Are they successful? Is P. Diddy successful? Let me see. Was Whitney Houston successful? What about Prince or Michael Jackson? Were they successful? This is the type of stuff I sit on my patio and think about. Like, was Michael Jackson successful? I think about stuff like that. Lady Nevo said yes, 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 yes. Okay, before we get started, let me see. I gotta recognize my support. Where did the video go? There we go. It's right there. I gotta recognize my support. Let me see. Let me pull up Lady Nevo. Lady Nevo, I really appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much. Here we go. Lady Nevo with the $2 cash cap. She says, still from homie funeral. Miss you, bro.
No captivity.
Thank you for being here, Lady Nevo. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna show this video of Bill Duke. Now, I don't know how much time y'all got cause the video I don't know. The video about 7 minutes long. The video is 7 minutes long, right? Should I skip to? I don't know. The whole video was good. But we winging it tonight. We winging it tonight. We ain't trying to be perfect. Let me see. Here's the video. So here's the video, y'all. Bill Duke. Bill Duke didn't hold back. Bill Duke did not hold back, to say the least. Okay? Y'all check out this video. Here we go.
What if someone says, well, I'm going to be 30 in March, so, I'm just going to pack it in. I'm not going to make it here. What about this new pressure, this 30 under 30, 25 at the top, people in tech, developing apps, whatever, this new bar that we've set that where you have to be a certain age, or if you haven't, might as well pack it in.
Well, the system is set up for the youth, and they assume that whatever older ones of us have survived, and then wisdom of knowledge that we have is irrelevant. I just pat them on their little damn heads and say, good luck. When I was a young man, there was a saying, I never forgot it, and it was, when I was a young man, I thought my father to be a fool. Now that I have grown older, oh, how wise he has become. So when you're young, you think you know every damn thing, until life smashes you in the face with the truth of its indifference toward you. And all those dumb people that you think are older and you don't listen to, once you get a couple of scars, you'll see how stupid they really are. It's got to be scarred first.
Can you feel the pain that Bill is talking from? Bill Duke has been in the entertainment business for quite some time now. I want to say probably since the late 60s or the 70s. I'm going to say 70s just to be safe. Bill Duke has seen things that probably we can't even imagine behind closed doors in Hollywood. These young cats that's growing up that think they're cool and, they're hot shit, Bill Duke laughs at that. Bill Duke does not care about how cool you think you are. The things that Bill Duke has seen in Hollywood and in the entertainment business, you have to have a strong mind and you have to be very spiritual.
Because I was talking, they don't know nothing. Yap. Yeah, your generation's in the past. But when you get crushed, and by crushed, I don't mean by not being successful. Ask what the cost today of being successful is. It's coming out.
Here we go. He's about to talk about the cost of success. This is one of the best videos I've ever seen. If you guys got kids, make your kids sit down and watch this video. You need to watch it for yourself first, because it's not just for kids. He's talking to adults, right? The platform that he's speaking on is called Film Courage. He's talking to us. But the type of jewels that he's giving out in this interview is timeless and priceless. Shout out to Bill Duke.
So you have success, but you paid for it. And so with that success comes shame.
Do y'all understand what he's saying? he's telling us everything without bluntly telling us everything. He's saying you got success, but you had to pay for it. And what came with that success is shame. He's talking about all of your iconic superstars that we so much very look up to, that we so much try to emulate and to duplicate, right? We want so much to be like these people. Do we even know what real success is? What is real success, right? Is real success having make sure we have a presidential Rolex, or having more money than your neighbor, or having more money than everybody to where you can shine in front of everybody or some shit like that? Is that real success? Being able to look down on your fellow brother and sister? Talk to them in a condescending way? Is that real success? Being able to do that? Huh? Hey, look at my numbers. My numbers look better than yours. Is that real success? Bill Duke he's giving it to us in, he's uncovering it enough to where we can see it, right? But he's kind of talking in code. Y'all check him out.
Because you wanted the success more than your self-respect. You notice all these people coming out now and saying, this is the price I paid, and I've been this miserable for all these years. But thank God, I can say me too.
I have to rewind that. Did y'all hear what he said? Let me rewind that. That was very key.
Respect. You notice all these people coming out now and saying, this is the price I paid, and I've been this miserable for all these years. But thank God, I can say me too. And it took something off of me. Can you imagine being successful?
He's saying that he was in that same boat, being successful for all these years. And he said him too, he was in the same boat and carried a bunch of shame his whole career. Now, he's not going to go into detail on what he actually had to do to get this success. He's not going to go into detail about the cost that he paid to accumulate the amount of success that he made all throughout the years, right? I don't even think we want to hear it. But he's speaking some truth right now.
All these years. But thank God, I can say me too. And it took something off of me. Can you imagine being successful, knowing the price you paid and choking on it for the rest of your life?
Did you hear that? Let me rewind that.
You paid and choking on it for the. Can you imagine being successful, knowing the price you paid and choking on it for the rest of your life?
Can you imagine being successful, knowing the price you paid and choking on that for the rest of your life? Is that real success? Would you be willing to go to those lengths for that amount of success? Would you? I know a lot of people that would. It's a lot of people that are so desperate to get out of the rut that they're in, right? They would do it. We see what happened with Cassie, right? Cassie was with Ryan Leslie, the guy I showed y'all on my last show. Her initial producer. She was in a good space. She came from a She was born in London, Connecticut, right? She chose to actually turn her back on the guy she came in the game with and go full steam ahead with P. Diddy. P. Diddy convinced her, hey, drop that guy. But she had to pay a price. She just settled for a bunch of money. But she can never, ever, ever forget what she did to get where she is now. Are you willing to pay that price? Are you willing to live with all of those memories?
Hey everybody, I'm just fine. I'm great, and I don't care about what I had to do, except when I sleep at night. Or can't sleep at night.
Hey everybody, I'm just fine. I don't care what I had to do, except when I sleep at night. Except when I sleep at night. This man is getting so damn deep on this. I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I first seen this a couple of years ago, I said to myself, I actually bookmarked it or checked it as one of my favorites, right? This video is so serious. I've never heard an entertainer actually get this deep. He's just giving it to us like it is. Like he's not sugarcoating nothing. He's not holding back at all. He's not. This guy is giving it to us blood raw, right? Bill Duke, man, shout out to Bill Duke. Bill Duke said there are a lot of entertainers, a lot of politicians, even people in the corporate world, right? Even people on Wall Street, they have done things to the point where they've reached a certain level of success, but the thing that they did, the thoughts are so intrusive, they can't sleep at night. All you gotta do is do it. You know, listen, you can get the success, right? Is Kanye West successful right now? Let's talk about it, family.
Care about what I had to do, except when I sleep at night. Or can't sleep at night. Yeah, I'm ready.
What about wanting notoriety?
Notoriety. These days people will do anything for notoriety. Some of the things I see on the internet, I cannot. I mean, are they really doing this? He just pointed out to me yesterday, a friend of his is an artist, has been accused of sexual harassment of 3 women. But he pointed out to me one of these women has a website. And every one of she has hundreds of pictures on her website, right? The most obscenely, provocatively, sexually explicit pictures that you can imagine. But a victim of this dude, who's getting no due process, by the way, because she said so, he's guilty. A friend of mine worked at CBS for 15 years, and a woman said that 5 years ago, he looked at her in a suggestive manner that made her feel uncomfortable. They fired him on the spot. They didn't want the publicity. So these days people do things, sexual acts, I mean,
Cassie. Do y'all hear what Bill Duke is saying? This was a couple of years ago. We just got through talking about Cassie. She just settled with P. Diddy. Right? But Bill Duke is talking about this thing like it's not unheard of. It's just an everyday thing, right? And you know, it's like riding a bicycle in Hollywood. He's saying this is nothing new. It goes on every day. You're not going to be successful unless you pay a price. You're not going to be successful unless you pay the cost. This is what he's saying. He's saying that shame is inevitably going to come with your success. If you want what these people got, right? Even Bill Duke himself said he had to actually include himself too in having shame about the channels that he had to go through to gain the success that he gained, right?
This murderer was on, and he put a selfie up talking about how he killed people and how he did it. He didn't use a gun because he wanted to use a knife and see them die slowly. And then there are little kids now taking drugs and doing other kinds of things online. Young girls, sexual acts, bullying, and saying how brave I am, and little girls going to school, 12 years old, with guns in their backpack, and people getting shot. I mean, for notoriety, I guess being famous now has taken the place of any kind of self-worth. As long as you like me, I'm okay. I ain't gotta like myself, because you like me. But when you're alone, doesn't that bother you? I don't understand how.
Doesn't that sum up society today? As long as you like me, I'll be all right. Isn't that social media as a whole? Isn't that YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter? As long as you like me, I'll be all right. I don't have to like myself. I need your validation, right?
Just having recognition or having people know who you are, having 1 million eyeballs, I guess that gives you identity these days. And it's just beginning. And the next 2 generations.
That was Bill Duke, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 7-minute interview by Bill Duke and Film Courage. That was awesome.
No Cap-tivity.
I never get tired of looking at that video. I really don't. Shout out to Nightish in the building. Who else came in? Ada Mija, thank you for being here. The Night Star, thank you. No Cap Crew is here, y'all. Travel One, I see you. Lisa B asked a question. Listen, if you want your chats highlighted, send a super chat. Doesn't matter the amount. Just send us a super cap, aka super chat, or cash cap, aka cash out, and it will get highlighted on the show. Lisa B Free says, what happens when you haven't been prone to discrimination against the minority? So I'm guessing you're white, and the skin with the godlike sins. And the skin with the God-like sins? Sin is to be forgiven by both sides. Oh, I'm guessing you're white and you're saying we need to, black people need to forgive white people and white people need to forgive black people. I think that's what you're saying. We can talk about it. This is a laid back discussion. Lisa, us black minority isn't in slavery no more. I'm gonna put what their forefathers went through. They are not schooled. They are not schooled. Y'all got to get y'all grammar right now in these chats now. Listen. Y'all making me stumble. Okay, she says she's not white. Okay. So we can talk about it. Lisa B, if you want to, would you like to call in? Would you like to call in, Lisa B, and have this discussion? This is a laid back conversation tonight. It's not too formal. I'm going to be showing videos, right? Bill Duke was the first video. Let me tell you something. Bill Duke was not even on the dock of the show. I'm telling y'all right now. That came off the dome. But I had to show it because that's one of my favorite videos on YouTube, period. That's a fact. Bill Duke is the man. When he told the truth, I was like, I'm a fan of Bill Duke after that, right? Super chat. Only Bill for Valor with the $5 super cap. He says, realest shit you ever live stream. That video should be required viewing before becoming a so-called content creator. That's a fact, bro.
No Cap-tivity.
That is a fact. Only Built for Valor. I want to start doing more content like this, just a free-for-all, conversation, right? Because I think it would engage you guys more, right? I want to do more content that I feel like we can actually relate more to. We don't really give a damn about P. Diddy, do we? Think about it. We really don't care. Do you really care if DJ Envy go to prison? I mean, I don't care. I don't mean to sound harsh, but I don't really care. Shout out to Only Bill for Valor, man. Thank you, bro.
No Cap-tivity.
I love all the financial support. I love all the support, but when y'all, let me know y'all love me extra, But Lisa B, Anton told me to go to your show and get into it. Man, thank you, Anton. And thank you for being here, Lisa B. Has anybody welcomed Lisa B to the family yet? Has anybody welcomed Lisa B to the No Cap crew? Thank you for being here, Lisa B. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna have what do I want to say? Heart-to-heart discussion, right? We're gonna have a real discussion tonight. Do we even know what success is? A lot of times, can I tell y'all one reason why I'm not on Facebook like I used to be on Facebook? I used to be on Facebook. Put a 1 in the chat if you used to be on Facebook more than YouTube at one point in time. At one point in time, I was on Facebook religiously. And then the way I got on YouTube, I started watching, I was a sneakerhead, right? So I wanted to know what was the latest sneakers that was going to come out, like all the latest Jordans back in like 2010, 2011, something like that, right? So I started watching YouTube. I remember DJ Vlad had this channel called The Sneaker Watch, and there's some more other channels. So that's how I really migrated to YouTube. I started liking sneakers. I started collecting Jordans and running shoes, right? All kind of stuff, right? Yo, so I'm not alone, right? I was on Facebook. Everybody was on Facebook. Facebook is the first internet black ghetto. If you want to know what the first internet black ghetto is, go to Facebook. That's where all the black people be at on Facebook, right? And let me tell y'all something. They still on Facebook. I went back to Facebook probably like a month ago. Well, I started not a month ago. I started sharing my live stream links on my Facebook page, right? So I have to go to Facebook. But I hadn't scrolled down my Facebook timeline in like years. And when I scroll down, you know what I realized? These people are still on the same shit. You still see black women showing vacation trips. Who all remember that? Like the vacation trips, they do a vacation to Cancun, Mexico, or Hawaii, or the Bahamas. You know, they might go for a couple of days just to get them pictures in on Facebook. Right? Just to take pictures on Facebook. Is that real success? And I know some of these people. I know some of these people living in the projects. Right? Then I'm gonna tell you another infamous Facebook post. You gotta post, you know, the Louis Vuitton bag and the Gucci. You know, the men are in on it too. I'm not gonna exclude the men. The men, you know, they gotta show their Gucci belts and Gucci shirts and everything Gucci matching. Is that real success? Aren't you guys tired of that?
No captivity.
I'm tired. I organically and sincerely want to see black people move up in the sociological, economic totem pole. How are we gonna do it? By stop lying to each other. Right? Start telling the truth, like live streams like this. I'm gonna show another video. Oh wow, one Jaramillo. I got your cash cap and I'm trying to accept it right now. Let me see. I don't think it's letting me accept it. Let me see. Let me try to do it from my phone. I'm calling out all cash caps and all super caps. Accept. Confirm. Oh, I had to do it from the phone. Okay. There we go. Got to give a shout out to Juan.
You so damn dumb. Check the cash out.
Let me see. Here we go. Juan Jaramillo. Juan Jaramillo. With the $5 cash cap. One said, respect the content you put out. Bro, I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot, Juan. I really appreciate it. I need to hear that too. I really do need to hear that because it's gonna be a long ride, right? I want y'all to stay tuned. Also, me and Dr. Nakambe talked about we're gonna be doing something special for the members, the No Cap crew, the No Cap members, right? Me and Dr. Nakambe, a very well-established mental health therapist who gets paid top dollar. All right? I'm just letting y'all know that. So membership, y'all get ready. You have not signed up for membership in vain. Shout out to JT from What We Know Podcast in the building.
No captivity.
Yes, he is. My dog here. Yeah. I'm gonna show a video I just got through talking about Facebook, right? And why I got off of Facebook. It is a Facebook drama. It's a lot of envy and jealousy going on. Who got more than who? Right? Let's just be honest. Most black people get on Facebook to be nosy. Right? Let's come on. Can we talk? Can we actually have a real conversation tonight? Most people get on Facebook to be nosy. Let me tell you something. Facebook has transitioned to YouTube. Now you know what I found out? People get on YouTube to be nosy, to see what's gonna be the next drama. What's gonna be the next drama? So everybody get on to, you know, I got more money than you. You ain't shit. It's like we live to tell each other, you ain't shit. Don't y'all hear that every day? You ain't shit. That's why your ass ain't shit. Is it just me? It's like that's what we live for. That's what black people live for. We live to tell each other that. Like I want to be so successful. That's what people say. Oh, I want to be so successful just to tell that person over there they ain't shit. After you tell them they ain't shit, how did it make you feel? Let me play this video. Oh, okay. I forgot it. This particular video is in my Gmail. Let me make sure I get the right one. Let me see. Is this the right one? Oh, no, that's not the right one, but I'm gonna show that one too. This is the right one. This is the right one, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, let's look at this right here. Y'all, I'm about to play this video. Let me cut the music down. I want y'all to listen to what this man said. This man broke it down so good, right? Listen to what this man had to say. Let me make sure let's go back.
Believe that black people are searching for a Sometimes I believe that black people are searching for a key to an unlocked door. That the door to opportunity is wide open and will cost you little to get in. The resources necessary to succeed in this country as Africans in America are here. We have everything we need to succeed except each other. We have money. Oh, we're not poor. We're just broke. Our money goes in one direction away from us. We've taken the art of consumption to a whole new level. We don't sell anything that we purchase and we don't make anything that we buy. We just consume. We are a $1.1 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world. I've traveled to every place that black people have been dispersed, brothers and sisters. I've been to South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, all over North Africa, and all over South America and the Caribbean. And there are no black people in the entire world doing better than we are. Sometimes I believe that black people are searching.
Can I play that one more time, y'all?
Sometimes I believe that
Didn't that man break this stuff down to where it can't be broken down no more?
No Cap-tivity.
Let's listen to it one more time.
to get in. The resources necessary to Sometimes I believe that black people are searching for a key to an unlocked door. that the door to opportunity is wide open and will cost you little to get in. The resources necessary to succeed in this country as Africans in America are here. We have everything we need to succeed except each other. We have money. Oh, we're not poor. We're just broke. Our money goes in one direction away from us. We've taken the art of consumption to a whole new level. We don't sell anything that we purchase, and we don't make anything that we buy. We just consume. We are a $1.1 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world. I've traveled every place that black people have been dispersed, brothers and sisters. I've been to South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, all over North Africa, and all over South America and the Caribbean. And there are no black people in the entire world doing better than we are. Sometimes I believe that black people are searching for a key to
No captivity.
Shout out to the good doctor right there. Did they even say his name? They didn't even say his name on there. But yeah, we don't need to know his name. The words that he was speaking is the most important thing that matter, right? He was saying some very vital stuff. The things that he was saying that if black people actually stop spending money with everybody, we will be the 16th richest country in the world. That's big. Will we ever harness that notion to the point where we actually put it in place? Would you bet on that? Will we ever actually grasp that intellect and put it in action? No, I don't think so. Because there's always still gonna be Suki Hunters throwing off this. Let me tell you something. Suki Hunter holds way more weight than this man we just seen. In the black community, she does. Suki Hunter is the real professor. Ain't she? Need some more light. Y'all listen to what Ice Cube had to say about rap music, right? Suki Hana and who else is there? Kodak Black. Who else out there? Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, the Migos. Let's listen to what Ice Cube got to say about the rap industry and how it's set up.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons.
Literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're gonna have this guy write the lyrics. We're gonna have that. You have, you know, the record company pushing the narrative, you know, and somewhat, some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full.
Do y'all believe it's social engineering going on?
No captivity.
Now, it is our responsibility on whether we're gonna buy this crap or not, or whether we're gonna entertain it or not, right? But is there some truth to what Ice Cube is saying? Is there some intentional social engineering going on? Lisa B said, yes, if prejudice was in the past, we can move forward as the human race. Okay, But can we necessarily move forward, Lisa B, if there's actual social engineering going on? Okay, you're telling black people we need to put prejudice in the past, right? What about the system? Is there actual social engineering going on? I'm not saying there is. I just played a video by you, Ice Cube. And if there is social engineering going on, let's have a discussion about it, on how we can tackle it and beat it, right? Is it really just about putting prejudice in the past? Is it? Is that going to stop your kid from hearing Suki Hunter on the radio or Sexy Red? Does your child have an iPhone or Android right now? Are they under 18 years old? Let's talk about it. Super chat. Shout out to T Will with the $2 super cap. He said, that tells me we have nothing without unity. That's a fact, T Will.
No Cap-tivity.
We ain't got done without unity, you know. That's one of the hardest things for us to actually execute, T Will. We just talked about Facebook, and we can't, you know, a lot of times we can't wait to tell each other, you ain't shit. I got more than you. That's what we live for. They living for who got the biggest BBL, right?
This one here for the thug.
I'm going to drop a link in the chat, but I'm going to keep showing. I got videos. Just pretend we in the classroom and the teacher showing videos and we're going to talk about it, right? But I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. Just so I can have some company so we can talk about it. And I think I'm going to do something different. Join Freezy. Join Freezy. There we go. Let me paste it too. I didn't know I had got rid of my browser. I didn't know I clicked off my browser actually. Okay, it's pinned to the top. Let's talk about the black church as well. Do we even know what success looks like? Right? The black church tells you, hey, you're not going to be successful if you don't give your 10% every week. They need that 10%. If you don't give your 10%, you robbing God. You need to give your 10% every week, tithes, right? And you will be successful. How long have black people been giving their 10% to the black church? How long have black people been on the bottom of the totem pole? Socially and economically? Y'all let me know how the tithing been working out for y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I used to be an avid tither too. I'm gonna tell y'all, Freezy is not an exception. I used to be an avid attendee at the black church, black Christian church. I used to give my tithe every week. And I'm not telling y'all not to do it. I'm just telling y'all what I used to do. But when I take a step back and look at the black church from a macro standpoint instead of a micro standpoint, right? And I see the results that it has actually made throughout the years and the progress. I don't even know if I can say little progress. I haven't seen any. Society has gotten worse. The black community has gotten worse. These kids are getting worse. Generations are getting worse. What is the black church doing? Can I tell y'all a story? Speaking of Facebook, right? A friend of mine sent me a post of a little girl. Actually, he sent me a post of the little girl's auntie. She posted a long post on Facebook about what happened to her niece. Her niece apparently came out to their immediate family and said that the local pastor whose church they go to, well, her mom and dad felt comfortable and safe leaving the little girl over to the pastor's house frequently. And one day the little girl came out to her parents and said the pastor had been doing bad things to her and she wants it to stop. The mother actually checked the little girl's vaginal area and found a deep scratch on her vaginal area that wasn't there prior. They actually confronted the preacher, the pastor. A lot of attention was brought to it on Facebook. The pastor ended up taking a lie detector test. I don't know what made him do it. I don't know, but maybe he was trying to prove that he was innocent. He failed the first time. He ended up taking it again, then he passed. The point I'm trying to make is people at his church ended up backing this pastor 100%, and they gave actual threats to the family of the little girl, which actually forced the auntie to take that post down because of the threats. It's the black church. And then they commenced to getting on Facebook, the church family, right? The church commenced to getting on Facebook and actually demonized the little girl, calling the little girl a little devil. Y'all want to know what the biggest witchcraft is? We talk about witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. Y'all want to know where it's at? Y'all want to know where the biggest witchcraft is being taking place at? Aside from TV and, you know, and you know, the controllers of mainstream media, it's the church. Yeah.
No Cap-tivity.
I reached out to that family. I reached out to the family of the little girl, and I told them I would very much like to do a live stream on Facebook. I'm going to do it on Facebook because that's where it's centralized at. And I want to cover that story because I thought it was unfair that that church demonized that little girl after she had the courage to come out to her mom and dad at 4 years old, very articulate, and express to them what had been going on with her inappropriately.
No Cap-tivity.
And they reached back out to me. Do we even know what real success is? How can we get better? When is it going to get better? Let me see. I knew my brother was gonna join me. Hold on, let me put him on the main screen. I'll put my brother on the main screen. We're gonna do it a little different today, JT. Let me see. Yeah, I like that. Yep. JT, how you doing, man?
What's going on, my man? What's going on, bro?
I just wanted to have a laid back show today. I didn't really want to cover nothing specific. I wanted to talk about general concern for what do we really know what success is, and you know, because we always have a success talk, you know, within amongst the black demographic. It seems like we're not going anywhere. It seems like our code of conduct is getting worse, right? And it seems like we're getting more desperate that we're willing to do almost anything to reach a certain level of success so we can throw it in other people's face to be validated, man. I brought up the black church. I brought up designer clothes, vacations. I brought up the things that black people do to look successful. But is it real success? I brought up entertainers, the things that they have had to go through and the cost that they've paid to reach the level of success that they reached, right? But is that real success? And what is real success? That's the question of this of tonight, bro. What do you got to say about that, JT?
So yeah, when you talk about what real success is, it is based off of what we consider it individually, and then what the world consider it or our community consider success is. So I mean, my personal thing is that success is that you are it's more of a individual thing when you're talking about the beginning of success. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, with men, I think being if you're a father, trying to be the best father that you can be the best brother that you can be, son, you know, is being the best person that you can be and succeeding in that way. Now, when you start talking about things like finances, you start talking about things like, you know, things that are transitional and things like that. Of course, there's success in that also, but the word success can also mean that it can be a bad thing also. I mean, you got a lot of people that are dictators. They were very successful as dictators, right? But they were evil people. A lot of them were, you know. Think about, you know, Adolf Hitler. He was successful, but who was he successful for? Was he successful for the greater good, or was he successful just in being a great dictator? He was a brilliant person, but was he?
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Was he? Does that mean success? So when you're talking about that whole thing of success is something that we have to actually not give a answer to ourselves, but we should be able to dissect what success is through our whole journey of life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, success, it can mean all kind of different things. It can be subjective big time, but when you're talking about being successful as a human being, I mean, that's the biggest part right there. How can you be successful for someone else? How can you be successful for your children? How can you be successful for your community? That's what success is to me.
Right. So that's a great point. Is the biggest measurement of success even monetary? Now that we've, you know, talked about all of these different facets of success and the things people have to do, is the biggest measurement of success monetary? Let me ask you that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. monetary is what it is. You have to, for one, we need finances, right, in order for us to be able to sustain living in America, living in the world. Period. Finances that's the bloodline of the world. So how many of these bio survival tickets you can collect doesn't mean that it's going to be successful. I mean, again, you can have someone they could be a millionaire or a billionaire and still not feel successful. You're not going to be fulfilled by, having all of this money. You're going to be able to, move a lot easier through the world by having, as much money as you can. But no, monetary, it's not the overall successful thing.
I'm sorry, y'all. That's my dog. I don't know if y'all you hear my dog in the background?
He trying to get on the show.
He trying to get on the show. Yeah.
He like, this is the last time, man. They don't know who I am. You need to let them know.
I'm talking about entertainment tonight, right? I'm talking about the black church. I'm talking about black people socially, right? I also want to talk about relationships. What's success? I want to talk about success, what success looks like in every facet of black life, right? We talk about relationships all the time in this space, and everybody has different answers on what they feel like the road to success when it comes to marriage or relationships in general, right? I got some videos I'm going to show, and I want us to comment on it, as far as relationships go. Let me see. So there's a woman that was talking about growing old alone, right? And a lot of women I heard say they don't mind being alone. If they have to be alone, being alone doesn't mean that they're miserable, blah, 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 blah. And there's a lady that was talking about being alone, growing old and being alone. I'm gonna show it because I want us to, as a matter of fact, before I show it, should I show this one here? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna play something funny. I'm gonna play something funny first that I thought was funny. I'm gonna bring us back to the screen. I'm gonna play this right here. I thought this was funny. Well, it actually, JT, it's kind of funny, but it's more serious than funny, you know. But you'll see what I'm talking about once I play it, though. Here it is. See, what made it cringe is who's all laughing in the crowd. You see, it's like, is it so true that it's funny, but it's just so crazy that these people are getting a real crack out of the whole joke. I wanted to show that one, but I thought it was kind of, it was kind of cringe. It was a little funny, but it was kind of real and cringy at the same time. I decided
Yeah.
to
But
download it.
but you know what? I think I've surpassed that whole thing of things that are brought up on the racial spectrum with black folks. Especially when we're doing, you got comedians that do, like comedians like himself. That's what makes him a good and prosperous comedian, because he can go in any room and he has jokes for pretty much any type of crowd. So when he brought that perspective and he made it a funny perspective, only thing that he did was take what, you know, certain stereotypes were, right? It's my whole thing is that it doesn't make it 100% true, but it does make the stereotype exist. You know, it does make it exist. And there's always been a big stereotype with that. So when you look at it socially and in a serious scope, there's a lot of truth to it. That's what make it funny. So when you see white folks that are laughing at it, what he just pulled out was the things that they see. You know, that's it. It's the things that they see, and it may be the things that they talk about also. But I mean, you know, funny to me, funny is funny.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's all I was saying. Funny is funny to me.
Do you think that black people that get sensitive at jokes like that can be an element that holds them back from actually being successful in this country? Letting a joke like that affect them to the point where they have bitterness and resentment, and they use that as an explanation on why they can't get ahead, because, you know, look, white people are exploiting our history, exploiting, you know, the shape that our community is in, you know, and they don't, you know, a lot of black people will say, you know, they're laughing, but the reason why black people are in that situation is because of systematic oppression. What do you say to people that have those explanations, and the way it seems like you kind of you dealt with that joke in a whole nother fashion. You sounded more positive, and you sounded more like you had more of a open-minded outlook, you know, about the bit that he did. But what do you say to people that actually have it has a reverse effect on, where they say, hey, that's very insensitive, and, you know, they're kind of exploiting systematic oppression?
Well, everything in America is exploited. Even how white people, how they live is exploited. It's just the fact that you don't have a lot of white folks that are sensitive on a racial standpoint. They're more sensitive on standpoints like homosexuality, their financial, because there's a lot of white people that do complain about not being able to get ahead also. So when I hear black folks that speak of that, if that's their experience, that's one thing. But if they're borrowing someone else's experience and then they're saying we're being held back because of, you know, racism and all of this, I'm like, no, I haven't, and I've been around the world. I've been in more than 3/4 of the United States. I've been in at least 7-8 countries around the world, and I've lived in a country that wasn't, you know, America for 7 years. So I've seen racism, I've seen bigotry, I've seen all kind of these, you know, these things that's there, and I've probably experienced racism, but I've just never been one of those guys that had let any of these diversities affect myself.
Right.
So, and they, you know, to be honest, bro, I've probably experienced bigotry, but I've never really experienced racism. At least I wasn't aware if it was racism. You know what I'm saying?
I think what cripples black people more so than any other race is because most other races know who they are. Like white people, you know, I did like it was like you could call it a project. I was walking with my cousin in Walmart, and I was asking white people, "Do you know your heritage? Do you know what ethnicity you are? Do you know exactly what your heritage is?" And most white people, they was telling me exactly where they came. Their ancestors came from, Germany. They was being exact on their heritage and stuff, right? But I was showing my cousin, see, most white people know their heritage, right? What actually cripples black people a lot of times, they don't know who they are. They haven't done enough research. They haven't, they got this. They got this new thing out called what is it called? What is the DNA?
About genealogy.
Yeah, right. People are doing that now, right? Black people are just out. A lot of black people are just out here winging it. We think that we are Jay-Z. We think that we are rap music or ghetto or gangster music or gangster movies or something like that, or even reality shows. Like, right? Let's not count out reality shows with the black females and stuff. I don't even know what's worse nowadays, reality shows or rap music. I would go out on a limb and say reality shows probably kind of taking a lead on that. But the point I'm trying to make is that has become our identity. Right? And so when we attach ourselves to things so toxic, it kind of puts us in a confusing space to where when it's time to respond, like you just did to that video, we don't come from a confident place. We don't know. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's almost like we feel, what is it called? It's almost like we feel envious, or we feel some vitriol or bitterness towards the people that we see actually laughing, that actually do know who they are, right? So that's how I kind of break it down when I see videos like that, or like how the guy was making the joke. And we could tell that the comedian that made the joke, I don't know his name, but it seems like he was comfortable in his own skin to even be able to sit up there and tell that joke, just like Dave Chappelle and people like that. Usually these people are very well read, and they're that's why they're so confident in telling these jokes, because they don't have any ill will towards anybody. They're very well read, very educated, and when they tell these jokes, it comes from a confident place.
Yeah.
What do you got to? What do you say to that being one of the biggest ailments in the black community, just not being well informed, well read? They say if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. Do you think that sentiment is true?
I think it's true for most Americans.
Most Americans. Okay.
No Cap-tivity.
I've been around enough of non-black people, and I can tell you right now, a lot of these folks that I talk to, man, I'm a whole lot smarter than they are about what goes on. It may be certain things that they may be smarter than me on, but when it comes down to this thing called life, I'm a student of life. So I don't just assume a lot of things. So what I do is that I put the work in, and if I want to know where I come from, let me start from my father. Let me start from his father, my mother. Let's start from her mother and start from their parents. I would rather do that, and then I will go from there, and then I'll try to go further and further and further. But I'm not going to be trying to go and go so far as to what tribe did my ancestors come from, because my ancestors were here, man, for hundreds and thousands of years. And one of the things I learned about a lot of my ancestors were that they were always here. So when we're talking about this, I think people just have to start doing the work. That's why I stopped a long time ago calling myself a pro-black. I don't have to be pro something that I am already, right? I don't have to be pro. I'm James. I don't have to be pro James.
Yeah.
I don't have to be pro JT. So what I do though, when I feel a void, I start putting in the work. I pick
What's
up this thing
worse?
called a book.
What's worse, pro-black or Black Lives Matter?
Shit.
We have to tell
Black
people
Lives Matter
Matter.
is definitely, listen, Black Lives Matter is definitely worse. Pro-black, you got some guys that actually do the work. And so, I mean, we playing semantics, but that's my whole thing is that real pro-black people understand allyship, right?
Right.
There's no way that we could just sit back in America and say, all right, let's try to do it like how the tribes in Africa do it. No, we have to do it the way that we do it over here. We have culture. We just don't like our culture because we attached our culture to this whole thing of being oversexed, under love, and we attach it to a bunch of stuff that we never should have highlighted, right? We should have always been people that say, look, I'm broken, right? Because everybody is broken at some point. That's how you mend your life. This is how you grow. If you stay the same and nothing's ever happened in your life, then you are probably more ignorant than anybody else. This is why you hear people that have never even been in what we call the hood or that ever really suffered anything. And you start talking to them and they act like this stuff doesn't exist. And it's only because they're in their own Bible, in their own bubble, right? And we get to arguing with people that has never experienced what we experienced. So once I start talking to somebody, I have to ask them certain questions. Now I know who I'm talking to now. So when I start talking to black folks and, we be on these panels, man, and we'll pull something up like the subject that you got right now. You would have people that sit back and say, Freetha, you crazy about what you're talking about. No, all of it exists. When we're talking about how, just like I was just asking somebody that was in the chat and they were saying when you were telling them that you were asking a question about social, what is it? Engineering, right?
Right.
And they were like, music is part of social engineering or whatever. They was like, that's crazy. It's not crazy. It's not. Social engineering is a global thing. It's not just a community thing. It is a global thing. Let me tell you how bad this would be if we had a lot of people that were what they call woke, right? People that were aware. We would have a bunch of wars. You can't have a bunch of damn critical thinkers. That's crazy. You have a bunch of critical thinkers. I'm gonna tell you right now, you will never have anybody getting along with anybody. You have a bunch of people arguing. You have a bunch of people that want what another person wants, and you're just gonna have a bunch of people stealing from one another.
Necessary. That's what you're saying.
They are absolutely necessary. You would never have how you gonna have everybody as a leader? Who they gonna lead? It's just like having a business and you got everybody in your company. You got 1,000 people in your company and everybody's a CEO. Everybody's a president. Everybody's a vice president. Everybody's a manager. Everybody's a supervisor.
I think you can be woke and still know your position. Like woke means knowing who you are and your position and your strengths. And now that's what I think it means. Like not overpowering. I think the problem is it's too many sleep people. Like it's too many sleep people trying to be leaders. And they don't understand. They haven't realized they aren't really cut out for it. Like they don't have the skills, So
right, you would have people that actually are aware of their abilities, right?
Right.
Everybody can't like now. You would ask somebody, what is it that they do? They don't have a real job or nothing. They out here trying to sell cosmetics and hair and all this, and they call themselves what? An entrepreneur. So we got a bunch of entrepreneurs out here, and the economy is thriving because the economy is doing what it's supposed to be doing. The problem is that there's not a lot of people that can thrive in that realm of what the economy is. So if you're not owning something, business, if you're not, if you're not being a person that owns homes, not just a home. If you're not a person that have you making that dollar multiply each and every day, then you're not really what they call an entrepreneur. You out here selling hair and you know and cosmetics and all these things. Yeah, you're a person that has a business right now, and it's for the most part it's probably a business that's just starting out, but you're not an entrepreneur yet.
What do you think is an entrepreneur?
I think a person that's an entrepreneur is a person that literally, I'm talking about full-fledged entrepreneur. That person is in the economy. This person is making money move in all different ways, from their company, from marketing, not only just from that, but they're also being allied with other companies. Just like when we talk about the black community, when they talk about spending black dollars, how many of those in these communities that we have that are beauty supply stores, right? Normally we have people that are Asians. We got people that's mid easterns and all these folks. They come into these communities and they thrive in there. But in a black community, we don't have that. How many black banks do we have that makes that money move? How many? And it don't even have to be banks. I don't even deal with banks really. I deal with community banks, which are what do you call them?
You talking about credit unions?
Credit unions, right? Something that's a little bit smaller, right? Now, if I want to get something, once I have because I had, my family, we owned a multi-million-dollar company, home care company,
right?
So it was in our best interest to get a Bank of America, you know what I'm saying, and be able to understand when we borrow money or use other people's money or get, credit cards. That's a $50,000 credit card, $100,000 credit card. How to make that money work for us. Not to use it to go buy bullshit. This is what we have in the black community, where we'll go and we'll take that money and it only lasts for a couple of hours in our community, right? If we call it a black community. But it's not a lot of people that's dealing with that. They don't really understand. So, and I understand that a lot of us, and I'm talking about in America, we're not financially literate. Most of us are not. Most of us are not. That's another part of being successful, right?
Yeah.
But does it make you a person with... Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was going to say, shout out to Lisa B. Free for being here. She said, I'm trash, tired, freezing out after volunteering. She says, praying for the world and for my future friends. Thank you. Thank you. Excited to be your friend, Lisa B. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Don't be a stranger. We will be back tomorrow. JT, what do you think is the biggest foundation for a successful black community? What's the biggest foundation to you?
I definitely think that education would be. Our education institutions will be the biggest foundation. We have to get our children. Our children, we have to have them set off of that springboard, that foundation of real education. So that would be our foundation.
I'm going to tie in your answer with mine. I happen to think the biggest foundation is the black household, the household, right? How we raise our kids. And I think education still plays a huge part in that. And so in order for us to do that successfully, I think we do need to have talks about relationships and proper relationships, preferably marriage, right? I'm going to play a video. Let me go back to our screen. We're going to play a video about this woman, basically the realization she came to in her household. And it was powerful, bro. When I seen this, I don't even think I had ever seen a woman say this. But I'm gonna show it right now. Let me see. Here we go. Well, I gotta click on it first. Oh, wait. before I, you know what I was gonna do, I'm gonna play the video first. I was gonna set the video up with something else, but I'm gonna play the video first. Here we go. Here we go.
With
Let me rewind.
with venom in his eyes, and he says, I hate you. I'm 1 month pregnant, and I'm having the biggest fight of my life with my husband. And we are in it. It's been going for an hour. He is livid. I am terrified. And then he looks at me from across the room with venom in his eyes, and he says, I hate you. And my heart stops, and I'm convinced this is over. But I learned something that day. I learned that the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. Love is not just full of happy, soothing, empowered emotions. Love is full of dark, difficult, heartbreaking emotions. And if you want to feel the game of true love, you have to be willing to open yourself to the full range of human experience. And when your heart can hold that level of intensity, then you are available to true love, and then you can hold that intensity from your partner. And their emotions become safe with you. So there I am, in the middle of this epic battle with my husband, with my baby in my belly, and I'm convinced this is the end of the relationship. And he looks at me, and I start to crumple. And he walks towards me, and he says it to my face, I do hate you, but I love you more than I hate you. And I could feel in that moment that it was true. But we'd been fighting for hours over an issue that had no real resolution, and I was heartbroken and hopeless, and I looked into his eyes and I said, I just don't know how we're ever going to get through this. I am hopeless. I am in despair. And he looked at me and he softened and he said, I know. I don't know how we're going to get through this. I'm in despair too. But maybe, he said, maybe we could just hold each other in that despair. And in that despair, together, we realized that our love and our desire to stand for the us was bigger than that issue, bigger than that feeling. And I learned that in love, when you have the capacity to feel every single emotion, even the most terrifying, like the end of the relationship, that anything is possible and you can find each other. The heart is a muscle. And as we all know, every muscle, in order to build it, has to rip, has to tear, has to break.
Jay, what is real? What is a real successful relationship? I mean, I'm switching it over to the relationship side when dealing with success, because I do feel like the biggest foundation to a successful community is the household, right? So what I hear so often nowadays is, who's making the biggest bag, who's making the most money, who's the breadwinner in the house, high value man, hypergamy, money, 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 money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a lot of division going on in these households. If you're disrespected, you're holding on to what this person did, what that person did. What does it take to move forward and to have a successful relationship, JT?
Okay, so the first thing is that A relationship is not about you. That's the first thing you have to come out and understand, that it's not about you. It's
Mhm.
about duty. It's about community. It's about building. And relationship, and we've been talking about this all week, bro. So it's still in me. The relationship, it is an institute for you to grow in. It's an institute for you to grow in. It is not what makes you whoever it is. It ain't got nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with um, you know, when we're arguing and all these different things. It is a
Mhm.
classroom that you never graduate from. You never will graduate. You never will arrive. You know when you arrive, it's when
Mhm.
one or the other dies. There's no end, no credits rolling, nobody walking into the sunset. None of these things are happening in a relationship. So that relationship is to help you. It's to help your children. It's to help your community. It's to help your spouse understand who they are. And how do you do it? It goes through what she was just saying, conflict. Things have to break. There has to be some type of conflict in your relationship in order for you to even be able to grow.
A lot
I
of
think we
times
got
in
it messed up.
a lot of
Oh, go
times
ahead.
in relationship is hard to break a lot of resentment that you feel like the other person did or said. You would think that type of dynamic would only exist in a street relationship or a regular old friendship or something like that. You know, two homeboys fought each other or something like that. But it does exist in marriage. Two people can, I've heard of two people, a husband and wife, actually holding grudges against each other and just can't get over what the other person said. Not even did, but said, right? And when I look at relationships like that, I be like, well, God, Lee, why do they even get married? What would possess two people to get married and still stay in that type of turmoil and, not willing to work through it because, of their bitterness towards their spouse, not even a significant other, the spouse, right?
Mhm.
And so here's a video. I'm going to show a video about this woman. This video, JT, I was floored. I was so impressed with this woman. She's a wife. When I seen this video, I don't know. I was like, I think I got a little emotional because I was, you don't really see black people actually caring to this magnitude about their household and it needing to work and them making it work, not for the sake of them, not just for the sake of them, but for the sake of everybody in the household, the kids and everybody, right?
That's
It's
what it's
so
about.
much self-centeredness going on nowadays, right? I want to play this video and we're gonna comment on it. Let's see. Let me see. Uh-oh. We got company. Hold on, JT. We got company. Let me see. Doc, you gonna stay cammed off? Oh no, he's camming up. I was finna say, Doc, I always cam up. Let me see.
Get my makeup on.
don't forget your lace front, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me set this other screen up so we can all be up here together.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Freezy,
Go ahead.
I
Feel
definitely
free.
want to. I want to comment on also what she had also said about love and hate, And that was one of the things. A lot of people argue with. They were arguing with me on this, but I've always looked at love and hate. It's like there are two emotions that's almost the same, right?
Yeah.
My problem, a lot of problem that people would have with me is because I never would tell them that I hate them, right? Because I don't look at hate. It expressing an emotion that I have for them, but when I'm indifferent from you,
right,
I don't care about you. I don't care about your existence. I think that's the difference. I've always thought for a while that the difference between love is indifference. It's the indifference. The hate part is because you still care. With hate, you still care. You got emotions with it. Like the lady was saying, her husband was looking at her and was telling her, I hate you. But when that man is indifferent, he don't have to say, I'm indifferent from you. His actions show something that is indifferent, where he doesn't really care. You won't even hear from him anymore. So that was one of the things that I did want to.
So you agree with the lady? You agree with her?
Yeah.
I think what she said was very profound, because what I've been seeing in these modern day relationships is people actually care about themselves and their self-interest more than the relationship as a whole and it winning, right? Individuals in the relationship want to win. That's why I'm holding back, she's holding back. We're trying to see who's gonna give in first, right?
Yeah.
And my suggestion is that, it's just my suggestion, and I always get pushback for this, but my suggestion is that if somebody's going to give in first, most of the time it should be the woman, because she's under the man's lead. She needs to be the first one to make sure, different areas of the house is good and taken care of. Her husband is good. She needs to make sure her husband is good. That's my opinion. I feel like the woman. That's what I'm talking about. Doc thugging it this evening, y'all.
It's real for the
thug. Oh, let me switch up the names. Let me switch the names. But yeah, I think that I do think women should be the primary people in the house that actually takes upon a concerning, nurturing spirit, right? I'm not saying the man shouldn't do that. A man should make sure his family is okay. But I truly believe a man is only as good as his wife is. I believe that. I don't believe in separatism in the house. Well, in the marriage, right? I don't believe in separatism and individualism. You're only strong as your weakest link. Go ahead.
But do you think that sometimes that takes a process to get to that? Because you got people that
people need
get
therapy.
Together.
Shout out to Doc.
Yeah, well, you got people that get together and they actually are not nowhere on that. They're not on the same page when it comes down to that, right? So when you see, for instance, marriages that seems to be what they call successful,
right?
And you never seen the process that it took for that to happen, then it still leaves like a false narrative that this is all you got to do in a marriage to make it work. And I don't. I'm listening to what that lady was saying, and it resonated with me, because what she was saying also was that there has to be something to be broken in order for you to come out good on the other side. That takes a process. So if I'm in a relationship, and the way that I hold my the way I communicate with people is not being able to express my feelings. I get mad and then I shut off, right? And so the person that I'm with, they don't like the way that I shut off, right? And they're always expressing it, but they can't figure out how to get me not to shut off. Now, what happens though, it triggers them, and then they start doing whatever it was that they did to cope with whatever it was that they were going through, right? Now we're clashing with each other. Then I end up doing something that actually just screw that relationship up. So
but listen, is that a skill? Is that a true skill? Is that a skill for your wife to know how to shut whatever it has ignited in you off instead of her getting triggered as well. Is that a skill?
No, it's not, but it's an opportunity to gain a skill. That's what I'm saying. The process. That's the process. You have to have something broken in order, and you have to know that it's broken in order to fix it. A lot of people would just keep going on and on and on and living their whole life not being able to have those processes in place. The process stops when I deal with it the way I've been dealing with it since I was a kid. That's how it stops with a lot of people, until something happens that turns me into, something that's in me. And then you ever seen that where it just blows all the way up? One of the things I do know, a lot of marriages don't get fixed until something really blows up, and then they come right back. Now they saying, okay, this is where all the problems is. That's where you have to have the professional to actually usher you, to getting it fixed. I just don't think that it's always going to be something that you arrive from. I think we always learn all the way until the day we die. It's always going to be something all the way until the day we die, but it has to be, we have to present an opportunity, and sometimes that opportunity is presented by something that we just do naturally.
Well, let me ask Doc. Doc, is that what you've actually encountered throughout your profession with relationships or marriages? Before they come see you, do these relationships, does the top blow off the relationship before they have to come to you? Does it actually blow up to that extreme? Is that usually how it happens?
Yeah. Just before I answer that, thank you for allowing me to share in this space. I won't stay long. I got to get my stuff done here in a bit. But and thank you for those in the chat. Hello, for those in the chat. Thank you for allowing me to share in this space with you. All right. So please remember, what I offer is just one perspective. It is not the one and all answer. It's just one perspective. And even though I look silly in this get up, but I'm not doing multiple personalities. This is all within me. The answer to your question, first, let me start with a quick answer.
Okay.
Yes, that is what I see. In fact, I offer, if people go to my website, this sounds like I'm doing a sales pitch, but if you see on my website, I offer what's called relationship relief. And what that is, it offers one or both people or four people, however many you have, to say, phew, I thought I was the crazy one. Thank you for making it make sense. So I actually offer them relief to say, you wouldn't have known this 5 years ago. You wouldn't have known this 2 years ago, and you wouldn't have known this 30 years ago. You haven't lived it yet. How could you have known? Through sickness and in health. But you were most likely healthy at the time. You weren't wiping each other's vomit. You weren't wiping each other's butt. You weren't dealing with all that stress. So seasons change. And so people, they believe they have the tolerance. They believe they have the capacity. They might. They might. But what they don't have is good communication skills. They don't know how to be assertive. They have people, they care more for others than they do for themselves, so they're afraid they might lose the relationship. They're afraid of rejection. They don't know how to be assertive. They're passive, or they're aggressive, or they're angry always. They don't know how to, what is support? How do I truly support my partner? And I was listening to you talk, I agree, JT, relationships, I remind people, it's really about your partner. The same thing in business. Am I serving myself or am I serving my client? And I say business problems are personal problems in disguise. Relationship problems are personal problems in disguise. And who is your first relationship with?
Hold on, Doc. That was kind of deep.
No Cap-tivity.
That was kind of deep.
Hold on. If you're going to clip it, let me make sure I'm... don't...
That was very profound.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Did y'all hear what the doctor said?
So,
that was deep.
Actually, now I got the first part from my business coach, Dr. Legge, Legge. But personal relationship problems, my inability to communicate with you, I have a communication problem. I can blame you. In fact, I just had this conversation earlier. Person was telling me how good they are, and that person this, and that person that, and that person this, and that person, the blame game. And so will we ever have a perfect relationship? I don't think so. Together you come up what's going to be as close to perfect as possible. And when you're talking marriage, 1,000,000,000% would agree with JT. Death is the reward. Until death does us part. May not call it a reward, but meaning we didn't break up, we didn't divorce, we met the finish line together, or one after another. We met the finish line. That's the true end game. But if you think about happiness, you're not gonna make it. And there's no happiness clause. If you think about sex, oh man, I'm gonna be banging it forever and forever and forever. One of y'all gonna not, and I get it, people can do it up into their 60s, 70s. I see those Cornhub videos with grandma. I mean, I don't watch them, but I see about the grandparents still getting it. The elderly getting it and stuff. But anyway, I'll land with this because you just asked a simple question. Honesty and transparency. Can people really be honest with themselves? We're liars by creature. I mean, we're liars by nature. If we can't even tell the truth about ourselves, how are we going to tell the truth with our partners? So your relationship will always be flawed. Always be flawed. And I know people say, I don't lie. And if I do, it's just a little bitty lie and it's for a reason. Either way, it's a lie. I ask people all the time, raise your hand. I do a workshop. Raise your hand if you don't like people lying to you. Oh. Now keep your hand up. Hold on. Put your hand down if you've never lied. No, if you've never lied, isn't that something? You hate something that other people do when you do it yourself. So how is your partner going to ever get your authentic self?
Right. Doc, you don't have to go just yet, do you? I want to play this video, and I wanted both of you guys' take on it.
I got about 10 minutes, man. You young Thundercats, I can't keep up with you on this.
I'll give you the first opportunity to comment on it then. Hold on, let me play it.
All right.
Oh, I already got it up. Let me see. Here we go.
Don't mess around and lose a good man because you're a toddler in your emotions. And practical advice that I would give to just growing in your emotional maturity, stability, right? Being grounded emotionally. It's like just as much as you fight to be cute, to be a boss chick, fight to be a peacemaker. Fight to be a person that can go in a room and stabilize it. Fight to be the nurturer that you are. You're a nurturer. And that's something that, even though I believe that we're created to be that way, it's still something you have to wake up and be intentional about. So practically going out of your way, reading those books, watching those YouTubes. I remember a moment that I had with my husband and we were in the house and I could see in his eyes, I'm like, oh, he's about to leave me. Like, he's gone. He's tired of me emasculating him. He's tired of my inability to just shut up, hear his point and not cut him off. And when I saw that look in his eyes, I said, wait a minute. It's a woman that will hop over me to get to you. Let me get this together. And so practically just literally getting up and, okay, why am I this way? Oh, I saw my mama do this. Okay, let me break this generational thing. Let me get my prayer bag. Let me start watching some YouTube, some older women that went through this. How did they navigate being able to grow in their emotions? And so practically, like, just be aggressive about your emotional maturity.
Dog, do you think what is it? What will it take for a woman to actually have that type of mentality in order to mend or fix her relationship or or to just get to the bottom of the root of the problem with her husband?
Well, let me say this because I hear you mention women a lot and I always feel like that's just blaming the women. I'm more neutral. So I just want to say for my answer, I'm going to use the more neutral approach. Men and women need to do the same thing. And that is, when I listened to that video, she's awesome. I thought that was awesome. Here's the challenge that I have. You can do all that stuff, but you will naturally default to your true self eventually. You will naturally default to your true self eventually. You can go to church, you can make all these changes, you can go to therapy, but people deal with situations. I think I was telling you that before. People deal with situations, not their true problems. And so therefore you can fix all the situations in the world. If you don't address the root problems, you'll be right back to square one. So what a woman or a man or a non-gender, whatever it is, whoever in the relationship, what they need to do, what I suggest that they do, they go back to the drawing board resolve some unresolved trauma. Now, people say heal and cure. You can heal, but you can't cure. And you are not living your trauma. So you are not a walking trauma. You're not a walking broken. You're not a walking, those things are not how it works. However, think about it as a web. As a web, hold on, I think I showed you this before, but hold on. If you think about it as a web, it is tied into so many parts of your life. It is tied into so many parts of your life. And it doesn't matter where it hooks you at. It can hook you here about communication. But that communication problem was with the person that you trusted, like a parent or a loved one. So now you have betrayal issues. This betrayal hook is in you. So even if you resolve the communication stuff, you still haven't resolved the betrayal. And this stuff is hooked. It's hooked all over us. Betrayal, neglect, abandonment, emotional abuse, physical abuse, what we perceive. It may not even be real, but we perceive it to be real. That's another whole story within itself. You can actually have the best person in the world, but if you perceive, looking at the wrong camera, if you perceive they're gonna do you wrong, then you're gonna constantly be fighting it, pushing it. If you don't believe that you're loved, you're gonna be constantly pushing things just to have that person prove they love you. You'll be draining them and draining them. If you have inadequacy issues, so whoever you're talking, whoever the woman, whoever, if she has inadequacy issues, if she doesn't believe she's enough, oh my goodness, if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not one thing, it's another. And men do that to women, both do it to each other. But you know what I mean? Men say, just do this one thing for me. And that one thing turns into another thing. Another thing turns into another thing. Hey, can we use your credit? And then turns to another thing. And then she wants a strong man, but it's not enough. I want you to be strong, make big money, and be home. It's never enough. And that's inadequacy issues. He can go out and do all kinds of stuff, start staying home. And then she's like, well, I didn't mean for you to be home. I want us to get out. Make up your mind. Now we start getting out. Ooh, can I just sometimes make up your mind? So inadequacy, trust issues. And as I said before, you don't have to come from an abusive home. It's really about an unsafe experience, feeling unsafe. If I'm in the backseat of my parents' car as a kid, old school, before just sitting on the phone, but old school, and I look over and I see a car burning from a car accident, and I start thinking, oh my gosh. Now that locks in my subconscious mind, and you best believe anytime my dad or mom is doing something while they're driving, what are you guys doing? They don't know why I'm panicking. I'm panicking because I had an experience where I felt or believed something is unsafe. And that will go for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You could be sitting next to me in the car, I'm driving, or I'm sitting next to you and you start texting, what are you doing? And people don't understand all that energy is coming from something that happened 40 years ago. But I don't know it, so I make these excuses. Yeah, I just don't trust when you were on, but it really had the root of it had nothing to do with them. And then when you're finally transparent about it, then you start wondering if you'll ever be with somebody. I take ownership. I say I'm cursed. I know all this book stuff. I know all this studying humans to a fault. Because now someone start to bullshit me, just a little bit of bullshit. I mean, I roll with it like,
Right.
Right. I mean, I'm not, how much do I tolerate? I'll stay. What capacity do I have? I'll stay. I told you the one who left me for you, Freezy. No problem. I didn't get upset. I didn't get mad. I didn't do none of that because I know I go into a relationship knowing, not analyzing, but to be honest, let me be transparent. I say, no, I'm not analyzing. What do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? It's not intentional. So I end up analyzing. I start figuring stuff out, at least what I believe. No matter how good of a relationship guru I am, I can end up messing up a relationship by over projecting, assuming, not trusting, So to answer your question, those are the things that I would say that a woman or a man, whoever's in a relationship, that's what I say they need to work on.
I'm gonna let
that
JT.
was long. I hope it makes sense.
No, it's good. I'm gonna let JT go too. But I do want to respond I don't think I blame women on my platform a lot. I think I try to get a clear picture of role establishment, right? Because that's healthy in relationships. Like, I've never been to a relationship therapy or nothing like that, but I would imagine that, you know, there does need to be a clear mentality of what roles are going to, you know, what role are you going to feel as a wife and what role are you going to feel as a husband? To me, in that video, that woman came to an understanding that, hey, listen, I shouldn't be fighting with my husband anyway. Like, you know,
Why?
Well, it seems
I know
like
you can't answer for her. I know you can't answer for her. I'm going to cut you up with mine. Who says you can't have healthy debate? Who says you can't have healthy conflict?
That's the point, right? So healthy debate is key, right? But when it gets disrespectful, I think it looks worse on the woman because, for one, well, especially in my belief, right? I believe women are to be chaste, and when a man is talking, he's trying to get his thought out. It's good that she lets him. You know, if there's going to be a fight within a conversation, I think a woman should concede, be the first one to concede because of her role in the household. I think it's important for daughters to see that, and I think it's important for sons to see that too, you know, as they gradually grow older and understand what a healthy relationship is of their own. So I think that go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but here's my challenge to that.
Go ahead.
There's a healthy mind, and then there's a healthy state of being.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship you talk about, I can see a healthy state of being, but that might do damage to someone's mind. So if you go to a neurologist and get a brain study, you'll actually see like those blue spots and orange spots. You'll see the part of the brain that can actually manage the type of healthiness that you would require in the relationship. It may be healthy for the state of being, me listening to you, and then you listening to me, you yielding to me. All that might be healthy for the relationship. But if the person doesn't have the mental capacity to do it, that's not going to happen. And then reverse, if you don't feel heard, then I'm wondering if I'm stupid, I'm dumb, maybe I'm not doing it right. I start building up hostility. I start building up anger. I start thinking, well, maybe I can't do this. Maybe you're too much for me. I might cheat on you. All that because I didn't have the capacity, not because I wasn't willing to have that type of relationship. And then one other thing we have to be careful of, and I don't think people consider, traumatic brain injury. People who've been in car accidents, football, baseball as a kid. You know how many times we've hit our head? Traumatic brain injury will change the way you think. Mm-hmm. You know how many people say they have anxiety? Did you know anxiety impacts relationships? I'm not talking about because the person's busy. I'm talking about how it changes your brain structurally.
That's a fact.
OCD, compulsive disorder. So if you have a partner,
I think I got a little OCD, dog. I might need to see you about that. Go ahead, dog. I'm sorry.
OCD plays a role. Compulsive thoughts, intrusive thoughts, anxiety, hypersensitive person who's had trauma, and now they seem like on a higher level, and people are like, maybe they bourgeois, whatever. They're super sensitive. They have like a sixth sense. They're just super aware of things. People see that as a problem, but these are mental disorders. And then there's chemical imbalances in the brain. So one's a mental disorder, another one's a chemical imbalance in the brain. War. If you're from the East, if you come over from Africa and you've experienced war, that changes everything. Everything. If you witness arguing from your parents, if you grew up in an alcoholic home, if you grew up in a one-parent home, if you grew up without a father. See, we do all these talking, not you specifically, but we on the YouTube do all these talking points. You won't believe how much of this stuff is medical and mental health. Nothing to do with these talking points. Mental health that's out of someone's capacity. And you can't make them think about it. You can't make them change it because they can't without getting the help.
That's a fact, dog.
No Cap-tivity.
That was mic drop. Before we go to JT, have you witnessed throughout your years and your profession, a lot of people have been healed from OCD?
Well, OCD you can either do through medications or a bunch of CBT work and DBT work. So dialectical, which means either, I think you said it before, someone has said it before, both can be correct. I'm stupid. No, come on, I'm not that stupid. Well, both could be correct. The way you manage that situation, you do it stupidly. And then at the same time, you are very smart. So DBT teaches you don't have to lock into one thing. CBT is huge. You're cognitive, the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. Am I really hungry when I'm stuffing my face? I believe. I feel hungry. I think that I'm hungry. I believe I need to eat. And now I'm eating when I didn't check the facts when I really wasn't hungry. So you can do that type of work, but it takes awareness. Tracking. Are you actually tracking these behaviors? Those who have rituals, before they leave in the morning, they have to squeeze one out. Before they go to bed at night, they have to squeeze one out. Okay? They think it's just, self-soothing, like warm
They probably
cookies and
think
milk.
it's therapy within itself.
Yes, but that gives a dopamine rush. Once again, the brain. Start tracking how many times. Have you ever been able to start and then stop? I can control it. I can control it. I can go 12 hours without it. I can control it. Can you start and stop mid? Can you not do your weed 4 days in a row? Can you not? Because people self-medicate. They self-medicate. It's natural. It could be whatever you want it to be. Here's the deal. Take away the medication. Do you have pain? Well, yeah. Take away your Tylenol. Do you have pain? Yeah. Then you are not managing your symptoms. The weed is managing it. That means as long as you got the weed and the product, you can manage. You are not managing. You just have a product to help it manage.
Speaking of weed, doc, have you ever incorporated CBD in your therapy before?
I don't prescribe it because the clients that I see, a majority of my clients have relationship issues, and it's a very numbing thing, and like abusive relationships. So some of my clients take advantage of some of the other people while they're in that state of mind. I also deal with offenders who, yes, it helps them with anxiety, helps them with depression, helps them with a bunch of stuff, OCD, helps with all kinds of things. But the problem is they don't learn how to problem solve. They just depend on that product. And if you don't know how to problem solve, if you don't know how to manage your emotions by yourself, then you're still at risk.
They just like getting high.
Well, yeah, they like it and need it. I mean, for the medical purposes.
Right. I feel what you're saying.
It does its job. It does its job.
But it can be effective if they actually incorporate the therapy in its constructive way, though. Is that what you're saying?
It's an aid. I consider it an aid.
Right. Okay. Just like medication. Yeah. But again, if you ever stop the medication, because the goal in pharmaceuticals, they want you in as a lifetime customer. But the true goal with medication is you should be able to take it to aid while you're healing and then stop, unless it's something that's lifelong. But even diabetes, if you eat right, exercise and all that, you can get off the diabetes medication. Your high blood pressure, if you eat right, exercise, have a lot of sex, you can get off do a lot of stuff, you can get off the medication. So there's certain things. Hold on, man. Sorry. You know that when that video was playing, the lady said, it's like a muscle, you stretch it out and it tears, it rips, there's a hole. I was like, whoa, what is she talking about? But anyway, if you learn the skills and you still need the medication, I'm off. Who am I? Cool, do your thing. The goal is to look at how do you manage your behavior in this partnership. Because I can be however I want to myself. It might impact my job. Look at the common denominators. Damn, you have 4 jobs in 2 years? Yeah, this supervisor and that supervisor, are they having a committee meeting against you? How is there 4 independent supervisors all to say the same thing? You don't have no friends? No friends? So a wife, if you think about that video, this is what I heard. But now I'll be quiet because I get going, man. So I'll be quiet after this. And I apologize. And I go so quickly because I want to get so much out. But hint, that's really that's my way of saying I like to be heard. I want to have a voice.
And where does that come from? The little kid who was abused, not using it as a crutch. I'm saying my reality. My reality. When I called 911 on my mom at 6 years old, and they came in, and I knew I was going to be deleted, so please take me away. This woman is beating me, and I had to go to a payphone and, hello? I took a risk, because what happens at home stays at home. So when I took that risk, they went in the back room with her, and then came out, zipping up themselves and adjusting their belts, and I was none the wiser, rubbed the top of my head, just be a good kid. I'm thinking I'm dead. And then I go into 7 different foster homes with no choice, being adopted, no choice, being taken away from my sisters, no choice. So now, as an adult, I have freedom of choice. And if someone thinks they're going to take, I mean, I seem like fluff, right? Because then think about that. Super nice, funny. Listen to all the comedians who get in trouble. All the people who suck people in. They're so nice. They're so nice. Anyway, my whole point is, I don't mean to talk so much and so quickly, but I want to land with this, the part that I saw in the video. Another woman can come and take my man. So yes, she's going to adjust her behaviors, but guess what? If she gets to a plateau, like losing weight, if she gets to a plateau.
She reverted. Yep.
And she thinks that she's going to lose her man again, she's back to square one.
Yep.
So
she revert right back to that original person.
Yes. Yep. So she might go to a therapist, she might go to a pastor, she might go to the sisterhood, she might do all kind of stuff. She might jerk him more, she might do all kind of stuff. But it's really rooted in her fear of rejection.
Wow.
It's really rooted in her fear of being alone and left.
Captivity.
It's really rooted in her fear or question, am I enough? Am I enough? Am I enough? She might have a certain lifestyle, she might have this, and that, and that, and that. Her comfort zone is shaken up. And so she's operating out of fear, even though she says it nicely, I should do more for my man. But rooted deeply, when she's done with all that stuff and says, I don't know if I'm still making him happy. Well, we need to come talk. Come to my office and let's talk.
Wow, dog.
Super chat.
Shout out to 2 Glock Hot with a $2 super cap. He just gave you a round of applause, Doc.
No captivity.
Doc, we're not gonna keep you, man. We really appreciate your presence every time. You're phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Team, we're in this together, man. We learn from each other. We teach each other. We learn from each other. I learn from people in the chat. I learn from people on the panel. So again, mine is just one perspective. I'm always glad to offer it and share in this community and help us when we can, because they don't always tell us the truth. Not just they as another race. I mean, sometimes we just don't know. When I mention that money, just to be clear, when the peoples call me in for the courts and stuff, I can get up to 500. The couples that I see, they'll pay 300. That's why I laugh sometimes. I get on these panels and people who want to challenge me. I rarely do it. I'm a scholar. I'm not bragging. I'm saying I'm in the journals. I'm considered a scholar, but it's not for me. You can have all the degrees. You can have more degrees than a thermometer and still don't know shit. So my whole goal is not to present these letters. It's just funny when I get on the YouTube and people be coming at me but then that's my last example. Is that really about the people on YouTube, or is it about me showing up in the wrong places? So if I do a scholarly, it'll be easy to be like, y'all not listening to me, y'all not, well, forget y'all, Well, wait a second, Doc. There's 9 people on the panel. All 9 are saying that. You're the only one. I don't give a damn how much scholarly and I done had all these interviews and I had all these interviews.
Right.
I had all these interviews. They don't give a shit. They're not talking about interviews. Now, when it's your turn and we're talking about interviews, we'll listen to you. But if you want to get in the current discussion, you might want to have to put that book shit down if you want to get in this. So again, but most people are going to look at that as, I don't know why I was up here. Y'all didn't listen to me. I felt unheard and I felt that y'all full of shit. I got the stats. Well, yay for you, Doc. And so, again, people have to be transparent with themselves. And that means sometimes you might have to remove yourself from certain people or spaces or whatever, or you learn to adjust. All right, peeps. Thank you for those in the chat. Thank you, always Freezy.
Dog.
Yes, sir.
JT, always an honor.
Always,
I'll catch you guys. Thank you.
All right, Doc.
All right. Peace. Peace.
All right, man. All right. Hey,
ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Freezy.
Yeah.
I put the doc's his website. I put it in the back chat for you. That's for his website right there.
Okay,
He
let
does,
me.
like you said, he offers free counseling also. But you can also see the doc on Black Men Unfiltered on Thursdays with
That's
him
a
and
fact.
Coach K. So
Should I put it in the chat? You want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, heck yeah,
Okay,
heck
okay.
yeah. I just put it back there for you to because I couldn't do it from where we was at.
I'm gonna put it
But
in the
yeah,
chat.
man, it's an honor to be able to pick the doc's brain, and he's very transparent when it comes down to having conversations. Because he'll be in the barbershop, he'll be on my channel, he come on your channel, and a lot of things that's really dope about the doc is that he can have transparent conversations with us, and he can come from a clinical standpoint. And that was one of the things. Shout out to my boy Black Man Unfiltered has the doctor do. We'll be sitting there talking all kind of shit, and then next thing you know, Black Man will pull the doc up and say, let him, so he can give his own soliloquy from a clinical standpoint. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the dopest thing about having that man in our circle, bro.
And not only that, Doc a real ass nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't no
Cap-tivity.
He ain't no punk.
JT,
No doubt about it, man.
What I'm gonna do, JT, I'm gonna play that video again because it's been a lot of time lapse. I want you to have a fresh a fresh take on the video. But let me put Doc's I'm gonna put Doc's YouTube channel in the chat too. Let me see. Doctor coming.
Yeah, he had a dope show that he did with Mr. Bennett, man. They had a great. Their last show was this last Thursday, man. That conversation was dope, man. It was really? Yeah, man. It was dope. It was real dope. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so let me bring this thing back up. Here we go. Wait, did I? Oh, I got it. Okay. Let me bring it back up. Here we go. All right, there we go. Be ready.
Don't mess around and lose a good man because you're a toddler in your emotions. And practical advice that I would give to just growing in your emotional maturity, stability, right? Being grounded emotionally. It's like just as much as you fight to be cute, to be a boss chick, fight to be a peacemaker. Fight to be a person that can go in a room and stabilize it. Fight to be the nurturer that you are. You're a nurturer. And that's something that, even though I believe that we're created to be that way, it's still something you have to wake up and be intentional about. So practically going out of your way, reading those books, watching those YouTubes. I remember a moment that I had with my husband and we were in the house and I could see in his eyes, I'm like, oh, he's about to leave me. Like, he's gone. He's tired of me emasculating him. He's tired of my inability to just shut up, hear his point, and not cut him off. And when I saw that look in his eyes, I said, wait a minute. It's a woman that will hop over me to get to you. Let me get this together. And so practically just literally getting up and, okay, why am I this way? Oh, I saw my mama do this. Okay, let me break this generational thing. Let me get my prayer bag. Let me start watching some YouTube, some older women that went through this. How did they navigate being able to grow in their emotions? And so practically just be aggressive about your emotional maturity.
There we go. Let me get this off the screen. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
No Cap-tivity.
Take off, JT. Let me know your thoughts on that video.
So she, this is the thing. People learn from different levels of life. And so basically what she was saying was it was still based off of outcomes of your behavior, right? Behavior. That's what we're talking about. She don't want to lose her man. She don't want another woman to get her man because of her behavior and all these different things. But it goes to what the doc was saying also. If you're not putting in work, if you're not going a part of when it comes time to being a part of that process, because there's a process to do it, you're going to revert back. Because if you're doing it just for outcomes, and the outcomes don't work out, right? The man still cheat on you. You did all this stuff, he still cheat on you. You're going to revert back because you're doing things based off of, these outcomes instead of really changing the whole process. Because it's way deeper. When we meet somebody, and the older they are, the more of their baggage we're going to have to deal with. Whether they try to hide it or not, the longer you are with that person, the more you're going to see all of the things that they had to deal with as being, children. And we all have it, every one of us. And this is where it gets to a point of, should we, when we look at relationships, how do we base going back to your other question, what is a successful relationship? That the success of the relationship is based off of and is predicated towards how hard we work on ourselves, right? How hard we go into this institution and we work on ourselves, because there's always going to be something to present itself to us. It's always. That's what you hear people say. Relationship is a mirror. It is absolutely. It's like playing tennis. Something's going to be volleyed back to you. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be, action, reaction. It's always going to be some form of karma that happens inside that relationship that you have. So if you're in the relationship and you have all these things that people like on YouTube, all these people, I can't stand a cheater. Like the doc was saying earlier, when you talk about, I can't stand somebody that lies, right? And he said he was in a room full of people and he was like, raise your hand if you can't stand a liar. And all these people raising their hands. And then he say, well, okay, put your hands down. Now raise your hand if you ever lied before. It's funny how people, they're hesitant now, right? You hate liars, but you also are a liar. You hate what you are. That's what these relationships would do for us. They will mirror everything we got. They are not here to save you. Being in a marriage would never save you. Being in a relationship would never save you. What it will do, though, it will reveal all that bullshit that you had to endure or cause in your past. That's what it's going to do. And that's where you have to start. And it gets you prepared to be a parent. That's why it's kind of fucked up when you got people that put the cart before the horse.
Right.
I.e., having kids before marriage. One of the things I keep telling people, we don't ever have to revert to the biblical standpoint. Let's just revert to what makes sense to us, right? That resonates with us. That was the purpose of having a Bible or a Quran, right? It was to explain how nature, nurture, God, the Holy Spirit, all these different things, you have these different stories, is to guide you into righteousness. So a lot of times when we having these these conversations, we wouldn't have to go biblical. We just go for what's right, right? We can have all kind of analogies. You know why we have a lot of problems with a lot of people that we try to explain it through a biblical standpoint? Is because a lot of these folks know nothing about it. A lot of these people have never read a Bible. They've only took quotes from what they heard.
No captivity.
Hold on, JT. The church people gonna get mad at you now.
But these ain't real church people. This ain't the church people I'm talking about. These are people that have borrowed everybody's quotes and passages. Most people don't even know how to navigate through a Bible. They don't know how to navigate. You say, turn your Bible to Psalm 2-16 or whatever, right? If they had a real Bible in their hand, instead of them going and typing it in, they wouldn't know how to get directly to it. Most people don't know how to translate the doctrine. They don't know how to translate what was already translated.
That's
so
fact.
sometimes when you speak over a person's head, when you're actually speaking about the parables and the stories and the allegories and all these different things from these doctrines. That's why it's good for us to pick up a doctrine ourselves. It's good for us to read something and get understanding for it. Because when we have a lazy brain, everything goes past us. You got people, man, that die, and they could have became something great, but they were too lazy to become great. You ever seen somebody that has so much potential? You see how talented they are, you see how smart they are, you see how but they never ever try to bring it to fruition. They tell you a whole bunch of shit, but they don't bring it to fruition. Why? Because of fear. You got to do something once you start getting here. Relationship. You got to do something. Once you get into a relationship, don't you got to do something about it? This is why so many people would go so far, they got a plateau in their relationship. And then it's over with. Now they date like a serial dater. They have 5 and 6 marriages, failed marriages. There's only 2 ways that you get out of a marriage: divorce or death. That's just
That's
it.
a fact, bro. I gotta hit the bomb on that one right there.
No captivity.
JT, we're gonna wrap it up after this last question. I got one last question for the show, and we're gonna cover this question. But before that, we're gonna I always got to give a scripture.
All the time.
Yeah, this scripture right here comes from Romans 12th chapter, the 10th verse. It says, "Love one another with brotherly or sisterly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor." Right? So the question I got, JT, is this. How important do you think inspiration is in a marriage? A wife inspiring her husband, a husband inspiring his wife. How important is inspiration being in the marriage? And how detrimental is it if it's no inspiration in the marriage? Or should there even be an inspiration in the marriage?
So, yeah, in a marriage, I think inspiration is very important because every day you are inspired by your your spouse. You're inspired to do better. You're inspired to, it's when that inspiration is dead is when you know that there's a problem in your relationship.
Big problem.
No captivity.
Big problem. Go ahead, JT. I'm sorry.
When you don't have any energy, any energy between you, and you guys are just there, you don't really have conversations. You don't like a lot of times you can see your admiration in your spouse's eyes when they talking to you. And one of the biggest things that I've learned is when, I'm having conflict with my spouse, when they're working to make things better, right? They don't have the answers. They're just putting in mad effort. They're not doing it because they don't want nobody else to take me. They're doing it because it's an inspiration. They like what they have. They want it to be where there's peace between us, right? They want it to be between it. But I mean, with peace, there has to be conflict, right? And conflict is not always bad. So there with conflict is also inspiration. Sometimes conflict is not between the two. Sometimes conflict is from the outside of that union that you have. Bill, you might have both of y'all is on the goddamn kid's ass. Probably y'all have to fight against family members, mother and father, and all these different things. That's inspiration right there. That's being reciprocated between the two. That's why you would have a woman like what you were saying before, when we have to have this thing where our roles, we have to understand what our roles are, right? And it comes from not only spiritual, but that's a biological property that we both earn, or not earn, but actually have innate in us by the Almighty. So me being a masculine man, or sometimes the man don't have to be masculine. I'm a linear thinker. I'm this, I'm that. And I understand what my strengths are in that relationship, along with my weaknesses, right? All of that's going to be shown in that relationship. Now, the crazy part is, where's the inspiration in between that, right? Because you got a lot of people that's together and don't respect each other. They're in it for all of those other things. He got money, I can get ahead. You know, she got a big booty. I get when I walk outside with her, you know, she looks good, and everybody looking at me like, boy, that dude got his life together. This is what you're hearing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people are not being with people from the inside; they're being with people from stuff from the outside. So there's very little inspiration that is going to be. It's just going to be outcomes that they're looking for. Outcomes.
This right
And
here.
I ended with that.
I ran across this. It talks about feeling inspired and what does it do for you. This reads, feeling inspired or inspiration in your day-to-day life can play a key role in unlocking creativity, increasing productivity, and boosting happiness, right?
No captivity.
People who regularly feel inspired at home and at work tend to be more engaged, more confident, and more motivated to solve problems and create new things. When I read that, JT, increased productivity, unlocking creativity, having a more engaged household or audience or whatnot, right? I applied that to my house. I applied that to my YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see when I every time I, and I know you feel the same way, JT, every time I launch a live stream, I seek to inspire, bro. I really do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that in a marriage, if you don't have inspiration, your marriage ain't got no legs. It's we talk about no. You feel what I'm saying? We talk about no productivity. Your creativity is gone. You don't want to do nothing with each other. You don't want to do this. She don't want to do that. It's just your roommates at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just not a good thing. I think that we should fight in our marriages for inspiration, man. I really do.
No captivity.
JT, you got any last words before we get the hell up out of here, bro?
Oh, absolutely, man. I really appreciate, man, you doing these lives, bro. We out here working. I've been working. That's why when you don't see me and I get in the chat room,
yeah,
I might be already doing a live or something like that. But I had to, I had to come check you out, bro. I'm definitely I'm on the No Cap crew now. I'm a member now.
Oh,
you didn't even know that, did you?
Oh, okay.
No captivity.
I don't know if you heard, but me and Doc, we was chalking it up. We're gonna start doing membership only meetings with Dr. Nakambe, as far as we're gonna cover different challenges within we're primarily in marriages and stuff, or relationship, sexless marriages. Doc just talked about OCD and all the mental challenges that we might have embedded in why it's hard for couples to get along, or just for you to get along with anybody.
Yeah.
I think those conversations need to be very exclusive. And so we're gonna, we touch on it a little bit during the live stream, but Doc said he wants to get more in depth in membership live stream. So, and guess what, JT? It was his idea. That's a blessing, man. God is good,
that's a
man.
blessing, bro. That's a blessing, man.
I love
I'm telling
Doc,
you,
man.
shout out to him, shout out to you, shout out to Black Man. I'm telling you, everybody that's in these circles, man. I'm glad that you out here, man, and you put in. I know it was one day I was just like, yeah, Freezy ain't really in it. He ain't in the spirit. I'm like, let me go. I was just about to do a welfare check on you, and I was like, all right, he about to get it. He about to get his show going. I know it's kind of tough out there, bro.
Yeah.
I know what it is, but one of the things that you have to keep in mind, man, is that you're in a classroom. So everything that you're going through right now is something to build you, not to tear you down. It may feel like it, but you tell me what great man you know that ain't never went through shit, ain't never felt like shit. We all do. So a lot of times we have to get and work through it. We got to embrace it sometimes. You dig what I'm saying? So sometimes when you are in that realm where you like, okay, shit just ain't going right now, you know, the cloud is over me or whatever, embrace it and work it out, because when you try to ignore it, it's going to stay right there. Yeah, you'll start thinking you feeling better, man. But when you embrace it and you go through whatever it is you need to go through, even if you need to talk to somebody, if you need to work it out with somebody, thank God that you got a wife. You know what I'm saying? But you also need other people. And this is the thing about relationships a lot of people don't understand too. We can't keep putting our spouses too high on a pedestal where they can't do no wrong. You dig what I'm saying?
Facts.
We have to be at a point where we take them off that pedestal and just look at them as who exactly they are. And in order for us to do that, we have to learn them. It's a mirror. I do the same thing. It'd be times where I'd be like, I do not feel like going on. But let me tell you something, bro. This is like a therapy session. I see how it is when you be like, let me fight through it. You got to shake that shit off for you. You like, all right, let me be freezy right now. I gotta be
No
freezy.
Cap-tivity.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to do. And then you go back and then you embrace it and you tackle it, bro. Because these things, when you're not feeling pain, you're dead. It's over with. That's why we gotta laugh. We gotta cry. We gotta, we be mad. We gotta go. These are things we work ourselves through. All of the feelings that we have, we're supposed to work through them. What make us fall is when we don't embrace them. We human beings. This stuff is innate in us. All we got to do is learn how to work ourselves through it. And I don't have an answer to it. I don't. None of us really do. You dig what I'm saying? So this is what we have to do. You got to go through it. And guess what'll happen a year or 2 years from now? You'll see somebody in a similar funk than you. You'll be able to usher them to, where they need to go to. You may not be able to counsel them to a point where you are a doctor or something like that. But I guarantee, bro, we are. This is why we need each other. We can always usher somebody to where the light is supposed to be in our lives right there. And that comes from having empathy. That comes from being sympathetic to them. And that comes from sometimes we got to give them some tough talk. All of this shit. This is why we do this. This is why we talk. This is why we have these platforms, because there's somebody out there that's actually listening to us and they will apply this shit.
JT, when you said we go through shit, I felt that. But when you said feel like shit, that hit a little different, JT. That was one of the realest things you said.
No Cap-tivity.
That's what this show about. Let's just be blunt with it. Feel like shit, right?
Yeah.
JT, man, you know you're my brother. You know I love you. This live stream, I'll say this about a lot of live streams, but this live stream hit a little different, man. JT using rare form tonight. And the doctor as well. The doctor got a little thuggish, and it felt a little good, but we're gonna come back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. No Cap crew, thank y'all for being here. JD25, thank you for coming on in through the doors. Cassandra B, Ada Mija, thank you for standing in with us, and T Will as well. Dr. Nakambi, thank you for your presence. Could y'all please do me a favor, if you haven't already, after this live stream is over with, go to What We Know Podcast and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you go to What We Know Podcast. That's JT's channel, my brother right here. Go to his podcast, What We Know Podcast, and subscribe. Please do that. This brother is, I ain't even got to tell y'all, this brother has a lot of depth and knowledge. And thank you for everybody showing up, the whole No Cap crew. Lisa B. Free, you said Anton sent you over here. Anton, thank you, man. I don't know if if you even watch the shows to this length. But man, thank you, Lisa B. Thank you for coming over. Don't be a stranger. You see that we don't just have shows, but we have shows of substance, man. I want to say this before we get up out of here. JT is absolutely right. I'm telling y'all, some days I don't even feel like camming up. And I don't know if it's obvious, but obviously it is, you know. Sometimes in the beginning of these live streams, I kind of slow roll. But then I keep you guys in mind and understand that it's not about me, right? And I think that everybody that owns a platform has to take on that mentality. We are here to inspire.
Mm-hmm.
And like I always say, to free yourself, you must heal yourself. And until the next time, we out of here. Let's.
No captivity. Freezy.